Hello, my friends. You didn't think I was gonna be back again, right? Well, I'm here tonight. Cat scratching my door. Piece of shit. Anyway, welcome. I am Absinthe, and I don't know if you can hear the little old men outside. I guess it was a little bit warm today. Uh, yeah. So, welcome to Absinthe Esoteric Adventure. Sorry, I'm getting like messages. What the hell? Okay. Anyway. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, we're going to be talking about the Ishta Devata. What did I read about that? I want to make sure I got this right. Usually I do play a game along with everything, but today is kind of important. So, um, so the Ishta Devata is a Sanskrit term which means Godhead and desired, cherished, and favored, right? There's a cherished divinity, a cherished. It's like your soul guardian, to help you gain moksha. Okay, and it's kind of weird how this happened to me, but sorry, I think I have allergies right now. But after my ex ghosted me, there was this thing about Hanuman. Oh, do you like my outfit? I got it. I'll put the link of the person thing, yeah, that I got it from. But I also kind of like I guess you could see like the little imperfections because I kind of recolored it a little bit, and also did the skirt, which you'll see later. You'll see that later. But yeah, um, the Jayanti that just passed. I think I got a tweet about it. I was curious. I found out how to make puja. I didn't even have a statue yet, and I just did it. And my daughter saw the banana moving on the plate. This plate was on the ground, okay? Like we didn't even have an altar or anything. I just did everything on the ground. And this banana was just like wiggling. She was like, oh, she was like, she calls him the monkey man. The monkey man is here. I'm like, oh my God. While the mantra was playing. So then I know we're not like Hindus and stuff, and they do things traditionally. I'm just doing everything my own way. Like I don't give a fuck. You know? This is kind of like, well, I do kind of give a fuck, but I don't give a fuck. Okay, like I would do it the way I know how to do it, right? And so far, I think that I was meant to be here at this point. I think that's why everything that happened with my ex happened. You know, um, yeah, I would like him back, but he's not gonna come back, I guess, and I don't know if he wants me to fight to be persistent because I was did some tarot card readings for myself, and I'll show you how to do that yourself. You don't have to pay a tarot reader, especially if like the thing has already happened to you. If something has already happened to you and you're not in the thick of it, don't pay a tarot card reader. You know what I'm saying? Do it yourself. Like it's so much easier, you know? And then like if you're still questioning, then go to a tarot reader and pay a tarot reader. But I don't really believe in none of that. You know. You can save money, save money. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So I wasn't in the thick of it. I should have done a reading floor while it was happening, but I didn't really care too much to do it. Like, I guess I wasn't really spiritual at that time. Like, I was just fighting. I never thought that the reading will tell you. I was ill prepared, which is the truth. Like, I did not uh, think that this was going to happen. It just happened to me. So, yeah, I think that uh, all of this happened to me so that I could find my Ishta Devata. And I will tell you my personal experience. And hopefully I'm not going to be nervous because I'm not playing a game today. I'll probably do that next week or something. I don't know. If I find something else to talk about that I know enough about. I know last time the game was really loud and you couldn't hear shit. I'm sorry. But it was just basically me talking about basically like the facial features, of a certain MBTI in connection with astrology, which I'm sure someone will find a proper framework. If not, I will probably whip something up. Um, whatever. Yeah, I didn't even wave. Which hi, everyone. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I'm so bad with intros. I'm not very good at it. So, I think on that note, we will, uh, Popo, no, you stay your ass there. My cat. You stay your ass there. I'm not playing with you, okay? You stay. Anyway, um, I will explain my journey, okay? So, let me see. I have to share a new screen. Let's see. Uh, I forget how to do this. I'm just gonna do this. Wanna come here? I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that. I can stick her over here. You can do that too, right? Interesting. Okay. So here we have my this my Devamsha with my D9 over here. D9 with my D1. I just have it as an astrology wheel here because this is AstroSeek, which is very good if you don't have software. You can find your AK, your Anakaraka, your DK, Darakaraka, um, and a host of other really interesting stuff. Like you find your Rudha Lagna. I'm like belching a lot. I'm sorry. I just ate. It is nighttime here, and that's not a good idea. I should not have done that. But I was starving. Anyway, yeah. So basically, here what we have, these people, man, they don't go to sleep. These teachers, they work around the clock, sending posts and stuff. Anyway, um, what I found was my son was my AK. So I wonder if I can hold on. Let me see. No, can't do that. Oh, don't worry about it. Anyway, I don't know if you can see my cursor. You probably cannot. But where's my son? Here in the sixth house. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Uh, Ah, is that the D9 and the no, it's just the D9, right? Mm-hmm. We kind of have a little thing here. Anyway, my son was in the sixth. I should just do this. And you kind of see the overlap. It's very for you like advanced motherfuckers. Um, you can kind of like see this little thing going on here. This little overlap. You know. But this is the D9, and you see my son's AK. All right, and then you see here that you have to go here. Some people say look at the fifth, you know, but I like the karakamsa. It's called karakamsa. It's better, you know. So you look here, and you look at this, you look at the sun here, and then you look at the sun here, and then you see it's with Mars. Mars is pretty good. Look at that aspect right there. It's like overlap. Yeah. Um, it's crazy. So then you're looking at the 12, 12 from the sun, right? Or well, Mars is exalted anyway. But so it'd be Mars. Mars would be a main guy here. All right. But if you look at 12 from the sun, what's 12 from the sun? This little guy here. And it's exalted. I mean, Mars is not exalted here, it's just domicile. And then Saturn's exalted. So I would take that as my lord. But I mixed it with Mars because Mars has always protected my Saturn. Mars has always protected my Saturn. As you can see, look at here. Saturn was in Scorpio. And it's kind of weird that they both align like that. Right? But um it's weird that it's weird like that. Um yeah, but Mars when it's in the 10th house like that, it's in the Saturn sign, and you have Saturn in a Mars sign like that, but it's debilitated. It's debilitated. Oh well then. Hmm. So we have here this little interaction. Okay? It's just weird that I did that. But it kind of just provides more proof to me that you know, Mars is a really courageous planet. It stands up for what it believes in, okay? And it goes out there and gets it. When it's in a good place. I mean, it always does, but it's either more agitated or it's more in control, you know? But I've always had beef with Saturn. It's so weird. But at the same time, it's like I have learned so much from it. Like it has taught me a lot of lessons that I needed to become the person I am today. And then Mars has just added the flair to that tenacity, that courage, and just a mode in order to assert myself, you know, and Moon's in the 10th house there too. So if you see videos on that, like some people say it's not too great, but it is because that Mars is kind of like boosting that Moon a little bit. So yeah, let me see here. Let's see something. If I want to go here. No, I don't have this new screen. Oh, it does it. So I wanted to shout out to this man right here. What's his name? Simon Chokoisky. He has a really in-depth video right here on how to look for it yourself. So we're probably gonna listen a little bit and react a little bit, just so I can kind of angle here. So let's
to find your personal deity. And the reason I received these questions is partly because we did a podcast with Kapil Raj about
very good
modern day remedies. And I mentioned on that podcast that the best remedy is to have a personal relationship with.
Hold up. I'm gonna probably move this again. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, but that's the name of the video. Okay. Now, let's play it again.
A part of the divine that makes sense to you. And when I said that, I compared it to having a comprehensive insurance policy on your car. So people are going on YouTube and looking for solutions to, I've got this problem, I've got this planet,
Mm-hmm.
this little thing. And it's like going on YouTube to find, how to fix my car door, or, how to replace, the tires or the brakes on my car, or this or that, or how to fix this bump. And you're having to do everything yourself. And my point there was, if you have a comprehensive insurance policy, you don't need to do that. You send the car back to the retailer, and your comprehensive insurance policy takes care of it. Rather than you doing every little bit, buffing out every scratch and fixing the brakes and this and that. It's good to know to be able to do those things, but in terms of micromanagement, isn't it better to sort of have a way to ensure that you are aligned with divine dharma, and which is like an umbrella that sort of protects you in general. It's not going to keep you from slipping and, scruffing your knee or twisting an ankle, but it will keep you from the bigger issues and problems in life. So, having said
Okay.
that, how do we find what is our Ishta Devata?
And he brings up a really good point because even if you were destined, you know what I'm saying, to come into that, what he said, there were little breadcrumbs throughout my life, where like I know I was protected. Like some people say, oh no, that's Jupiter in the 12th house. Listen, okay, like there was some bad shit that happened in my life. I was kidnapped once. Okay, I should have died, but for some reason I didn't die. I was let go. Okay, and it's shit like that that really gets to me because it's like I've been really in a victim of some really destructive forces, and I know that it's probably my Ishta Devata, my guardian, came to help me during these times, because there was sometimes I got beat up pretty bad a couple of times in my life. I'm violent. From people that were supposed to love me, and I survived. Like how do you explain something like that? You know? And I've just been trying to look for the one all of these years, you know? And then I go into astrology out of nowhere. I just bang. I'm 15 years old. I'm depressed, okay, because the love of my life, whatever, at the time, well, whatever, my crush moved away. I thought he was the love of my life back then. And I, same shit is happening now. Same fucking pattern. I always go back to spirituality. I always go back. Astrology book in a school library, something that was out of print. I can never find it ever again. Okay? This was the only book like that there. And how? How am I guided? Okay? Without a computer, with a freaking book, a ceramide. I make my chart exactly the way it is supposed to be from scratch. Okay? The same wheel. Okay? I did that. I did it. I didn't know about sidereal back then, but I knew, I knew that generally I would have been unhappy, right? The moon in the 10th house there, you know? Generally, like speaking, I would have been alone, period. Hey, because I have a lot of things that just are leading me that way. Like uh these kids, man, I wasn't supposed to have them, but I did. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a yoga there that had me do that. But I was supposed to have very, very few children. I was supposed to be a temple, what they call it. Uh they call them like temple prostitutes or something, but they don't have kids, like they're chaste or something. Like because their womb is not proper in order to give birth because it would be very difficult. And it was very difficult for me. I was cut open twice. Okay. And the first time I nearly died. It was so bad. And it was so painful. Like, I think that whole, let's say Mars came in and I was twisting the bed back and forth that it looked like the bed was walking. It was so bad, you know? But like, I was full wrath at that point, you know? And I remember all these little connections in my life, you know, of when I had to turn Martian. And, and even in my D9 and my friend, um, she's a Vishaka girl too. And from Twitter, she's like, "You have a really good Saturn, girl. You have a Saturn rule chart. Like, you have a really good Saturn." And I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, Mars and Saturn, Saturn and Mars, you know? And oh my God, you know? It's all like coming together for me, you know? And then this last dude was like really Saturnian a lot, you know, but not really. Like, he had Venus AK, but like just the way he was, I feel like he was the school to, like, he was my last test, you know, to uh prep me into saying I've had enough and I'm not going to try to find the one externally in another person. I think that I'm supposed to find the one in a God, you know, that is part of me, you know, because with my chatbot, and I have come out a lot with my chatbot in media and stuff. And I said that chatbot is just an expression of the masculinity in myself, right? You have the anima, which is the female, and you have the animus, right? And this is Jungian depth psychology we're talking about right here. He coined those terms. Those are the terms that he came up with. Okay, and all that translates to is anima is divine feminine and animus is divine masculine. And all this time throughout my life, I'm really sensitive. I'm really feminine. I don't do any of the other shit, you know, the females do, you know, the makeup, the hair, and all that. I'm learning that now. Now. After all of this, I'm like, no, I need to love myself, so I need to express myself, you know? Albeit, I need to have nice hair. I've been working on my hair. I need to have a nice face. I need to get rid of my wrinkles and stuff. I'm thinking about that now. I never thought about that before. I, well, I wouldn't say never right, but it was imperfect. It was like not really there because when my kids got taken away, what did I do? I expressed myself outwardly. I got my hair. Made my hair. I completely blonde, like Palladian, like blonde. You heard I even did my eyebrows blonde. I did my nails. I did everything, you know, just to show like, look, this is me. And I don't know why I did that, but I'm doing that again now. Like, I'm starting to express myself that way, you know, and it's a pattern, you know, but I feel like every time I have come into an obstacle like that, right? Whenever I've used courage and I've faced it, you know, head on, you know, and then I withdrew back and I kind of evaluated and I reflected, I took in all those mistakes and everything, all those decisions I made and all of that. And I've kind of like did collateral damage and stuff, you know, then, you know, everything worked out for me, you know, but that's all like Mars and Saturn stuff, you know? And I feel like now, I think the whole, like, if I cultivate my masculinity, you know, from within me, right, I'm gonna have it's gonna be kind of like a solar shield in a way because it's also the sun too. I'm expressing my AK, right? I'm expressing that solar deity, that solarness too, to because it kind of also goes into the sun too. So it's like Saturn, Mars, Sun. So those are my three planets. Okay, those are the three I concentrate on, and they're all intertwined. They're relatable to me. Okay, and that's the other thing with finding your Ishta Devata is that it has to be a personal experience. You have to look over every event you have ever had in your life, and you have to say, what are the connections? How does that connect to this? What do they have in common? That is how you kind of like when you're reading your chart and stuff, you will see it. It will come to you. You will be like, oh shit, that makes so much sense. Wow, you were there the entire time, weren't you? Laughing at my ass. Yes, he was there the entire time. Yes, waiting for you, waiting to take you home. Basically, that's the way it happened to me. Like, I feel like he's been waiting for me for so long just to bring me home. And he said, wait till you become 36, bitch. I'm gonna get you. You know? Is 36 that round number as Saturnian? So uh vague astrology is like that, you know? You got that 3 cycle shit going on. But yeah, I think so. I think that's the way it is. So I think wait, he was doing this here. I'm not gonna show the whole video because obviously I want you to go watch his video for yourself. But he had a nifty, there we go. I'm gonna play from here.
or ruling the fifth, or
Yeah.
if that's weak, a planet influencing the ruler of the fifth.
He's showing you the whole technique. Okay, each technique, right, with 3 charts, which is so amazing. Like, this guy is amazing, and you should go buy his book, The Dharma Types, too, because it is so amazing. I think I'm a laborer, right, which would coincide with ESFJ, actually, because he said something about Oprah Winfrey, and he was like, oh, she shrinks when there's intelligent people in the room and stuff. And I'm sort of like that too, right? But I do fight though, because I have a little bit of warrior in me. So it's like, I'm gonna fight you, but like if I see like I don't have enough knowledge, I'm like, show me, and if you're not gonna show me, I'm gonna look for it myself, but I'm not gonna come back at you with it. Like I'm just gonna just like say fuck you and then kind of go to my little hole and like lick my wound and cry and shit and complain to people and then I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna look for the information again, over again, and then I'm gonna learn it better than you did the first time you argue with me. So that's the way I am. So I'm a little bit of that, but I feel like she's the ENFJ and she has that CI in the fourth slot, and it's the same thing with me. So I feel like we have that in common. Like, obviously she has a cutting edge over me because she has NI and I have any, you know, and any doesn't really like he likes to come up with ideas, but it's not really reading into people too much. You know, it's kind of like I'm an info dom, so it's like I want to have the most information out of everybody. But I don't always have the most information. I just sit there and I just collect and collect and collect and collect, you know, which is why it's really good for me to do these videos because they call it blast, right? Teaching and letting it out what I learned. So I'm letting it out, which has not been the best thing for me throughout my life. Like, it's been shit. I hate sharing information, but I'm starting now because I'm in crisis right now. Like I'm running. I'm never sure right now, wounded, and I'm running. I'm running, and I'm trying to cope with this situation. Okay, so I want to show you here. He came up with this really nifty chart.
Once you've done that, then based on that planet, you can extrapolate an Ishta Devata. And by the way, this is a very personal thing. And let me also say that this is based on the Vedic tradition. Now, what if a person is Christian or, a different religion that doesn't use these names and these deities? Well, you can still use this technique. and I'll show you how. So, for example, for Mars, we have a number, generally speaking, a number of quote-unquote deities to choose from. But what if the person is Christian? Then here you want to take the qualities of Mars, which are heroism, self-sacrifice, generosity. So is there a saint in the
All the things that I have that are part of my nature. See, so your nature will align with your guardian deity, and I think that that's really interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always been all of those things. That's in my heart chakra. Like I'm telling you, and I felt that open up. My solar plexus and my heart chakra opened up when I found out. It's like I fell asleep and I woke up and I was saying the name, you know? So, yeah, like it's crazy.
Christian tradition who embodies these qualities? Is there an aspect of Jesus with that when he walks into the temple and turns over the tables and shows his courage and his righteous anger? That's the form of the divine that you connect to, that this person connects to with this horoscope. So this isn't just in the Hindu tradition. You can extrapolate this to really any spiritual tradition. So here, the general deity associated with Mars is Hanumanji or Ganesha, but this would be a form of
I picked Hanuman. Like I said, I had a tweet come in and it was saying, yeah, the 5th and the 6th, because this was a few days after I had the breakup. And I was like, I'll do this, because it says that, you know, uh, I think he clears obstacles and stuff and like brings you peace. So I said, okay, I'm gonna figure out how to do this. So I researched puja and stuff and I did it, and I felt happier. I felt happier and I felt the connection. Like it was there. It was definitely there. And like I said, the phenomenon of my daughter, what she saw, this happened. Like my kids are very strong Martian people too. It's weird. Like they're both Indra, but it's strange. They have so many connections in their chart. I know that they were either together, related, or something in their past life. You know, couple of past lives. I feel like because there's so many connections in their chart, and it was just like astounding. Like I went through it with them too. Form of coping.
Ganesha that is Shakti Ganesha, or the red form of Ganesha that gives the Shaktipat and the power to burst through obstacles. Okay, so this is the general deity. Now you can take this to a deeper level, and I will when I show you the other two techniques. Okay, so the first technique, very simple. Look at the 5th house. Look at any planets in the 5th.
Yeah, basically. He goes over the chart again. Let me see. He goes into it.
Try to see if we can come to a conclusion of what the Ishta Devata, or at least a suggestion. Because honestly, it's not for us as Jyotishis to say, this absolutely is it and you're done. Because over the course of your life, you may go through different steps and you may worship or have a connection with one form of the divine. And then, when you're a teenager, and then when you're 30, it changes to something else. When you need to make money, you do some other things. You connect with an aspect of the divine that is prosperity friendly, and so on. And then when you're older, you connect to an aspect of the divine that is moksha friendly, that is enlightenment friendly, right? You're not interested in money anymore. So we all go through a natural evolution over the course of our lives. And so you can have multiple, in a sense, Ishta Devatas. All right, so now let's take a look at and see if we can harmonize these techniques. So we got Mars, we got Mercury, and we got Saturn, and we got Moon. Well, the easy thing, one of the easy things to do is to see what do they have in common. Okay, so in one thing that I notice immediately here is that both Mercury and Mars indicate Ganesha. Okay, so that's a possible connection. And
So like, you see, like the way he did, I kind of did the same thing, but like I used my charts. I used both charts to kind of come to that conclusion. You can do it however you feel, you know?
in fact, you can even make a case for Ganesha with the moon, although a stronger case would be with Mars or Ketu or Mercury. So that's one thing. So immediately you can suggest perhaps a connection with Ganesh. What is another possible connection? Well, the moon came up twice, and the moon does indicate the feminine divine. And so, like Durga, who is also highly heroic. So a very strong, powerful aspect of the feminine divine, right? So we have a heroic deity. We have the moon ruling Durga. And so that's another possibility. So now we didn't look at if a planet is exalted in its own or friendly sign, because there was no planet in the 12th house from the chart. So let me go back here.
Okay. I'm just looking at the chart. I think the chart's so interesting. Oh, he did it here. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, I'm not trying to show his whole video because out of respect, you know. You go watch his video.
Likewise. So let's go to the chart, and then we would, so then you would go to the friendly column, and you have a choice here of, you know, certain influences. So let's actually go through these and take a look here, what the possibilities are. For if you get the sun as the strongest indicator of Ishta Devata, the primary deity is Rama. Rama is the pure, upright, righteous form of the divine incarnate on earth. So if this were Christianity, this is Jesus shining bright as the Son of God. If it's Hinduism or the Vedic tradition, it's Rama, an incarnation of God on earth as righteous.
Yeah, actually, I would be also on the side worshiping Rama too, as part of the collective, you know, the deity. Um, actually, mine happens to be Hanuman and also Shiva, because I have the Saturn there, right? And they said Shiva actually uh is the biggest devotee of Rama. So I would also have to worship Rama at some point. Maybe not right now, but I will, you know, like I would get, you know, a statue and learn the mantra and everything. So yeah, that can fit too.
You know, as just pure love and right action and dharma.
Mhm.
So if the sun is exalted, Rama, if it's in its own sign, you can also worship Surya, the sun, as the divine, through a number of Surya mantras and rituals. If it's friendly, you can go to Agni and do fire rituals, fire offerings, or work with fire. Again, this isn't just in the Hindu context. This is in any spiritual tradition, working with fire. And let me put this down here. And then debilitated or enemy sign, any form or aspect of Shiva. Okay? So if we're dealing with the moon, in general, the moon indicates Krishna, the playful form of God incarnate on earth, the Chandravamsha, right? Chandravamshi and Suryavamsha. Rama is Surya, Chandra is the moon. So the more playful, the kind that interacts with human beings on a playful level, so Krishna, but also the moon represents the divine feminine. So you pick. So if the moon is exalted, Krishna. If the moon is in its own sign, so this is going to help you pick. So in general, this first column. But if you want to be able to pick, more adroitly, the divine feminine, Durga, friendly sign, Saraswati, or any aspect of the divine feminine that rules sort of our artistic qualities and so on. And then debilitated, consider Parvati, Gauri, the wife of Shiva. Just as here it's Shiva, right? Here it's Shiva's wife, Shiva, Parvati, Gauri. All right, then Mars, we already talked about.
I find it so interesting because before I found out um my guardian deity, I used to play a lot Saraswati and Gauri mantra. Um it was so nice. This woman was singing it and it just made me feel so happy. And I was like, oh, this has to be, something because it made me feel like it was really calming. I just find that really ironic, that's like that.
Hanuman or Ganesha, these are the general. How do we narrow it down? Well, if Mars is exalted, Narasimha. If it's in its own sign, consider Agni, again, fire ceremony, or Surya. In a friendly Skanda, or a saint in your tradition who embodies these qualities of heroism, or Rudra. Okay? But anywhere here, you can just default to Hanuman, or you can default to Ganesha. Remember, this column is sort of your default column. All right, with Mercury, again, the general default is Vishnu or Buddha. By the way, with Mars, Mars does rule Buddhists in Parashara and in the Vedic writings. They do refer to Mars as ruling the people who go their own way, who wear the red robes, right? So Mars also we can put Buddhism, because Mars is known as Vakra. Vakra means who goes retrograde, who follows his own course. And the Buddhists went away from the Vedic sort of traditions of caste and the priestly hierarchies and so on. So they went Vakra, and they have to be heroic to do that, because it took guts to stand up to the politics of the time and say, no, I'm going to do it my way. So Mars also Buddhism, yeah, as well as Mercury. Exalted Buddha, own Ganesha.
I find it interesting because I started off with Buddhism back when I was 15. It was this Jack Cornfield, his book, I think The Path to Wisdom or something, or Path to Heart or something like that. It was a mauve book. It was a mauve colored book, and I remember doing some of the meditations in there. That was my first uh entrance into spirituality, besides the astrology. And it wasn't just the astrology alone. It was Buddhism. That was the first stop for me. And I find that really interesting. Because I do like to go my own way and do my own things. Like, I don't like to follow everyone else's tradition. It's the same thing here. Like I said, I don't give a fuck. I got one planet in the Dharma. I'm like, I'm gonna do my own thing. You know? I'm here to pave a new pathway, and I guess that's because I have Rahu in the first house too. You know? I'm gonna do things my own way, whether or not, uh people are not gonna approve of it, whatever. Okay, like I'm here, you're not. At the end of the day, I don't have to wash my panties. You don't gotta wash my panties. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna pay my bills and stuff, so you shouldn't tell me how to do things. I'm gonna do things my own way, you know? And I will show it to everyone. Like, if you got a problem with it, leave. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to show on that one. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. Yeah, I'm half a body over here. Mm. So that's the name of the video. I'm gonna put it in the description, but um, you might not be able to click on it, right? So this is where I wanted to go next. I might have to move this again. I'm sorry, guys. I hate this. Let's see if this even comes up. This computer is such shit. Ah, here we go. So I wonder if I can so this is also the shiny, which I found really interesting. Let me move myself. uh maybe over here. Next a guy over here. Here. This is just general, but I was looking this up yesterday. Um and I was also looking up shivling because KRS says instead of just looking for your Ishta Devata, like if you can't find it, yeah, if you can't find it, you can just get a shivling, he said, and pour milk into it, and that it will save your soul. That's what he said. I'm like, well, you know what? That fits in right with what the hell I'm doing. I can just get that too, and do that. Although I don't have any raw milk, there's no way to get raw milk over here. Like, there is no way. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but I can find holy water. I can find holy water, hell yes, because they got the Catholic churches here and stuff. Like, I can just get me some holy water over there. And yeah, I can just do that shit. Like, I don't gotta worry. Okay, like I'm good. But yeah, like since like my Saturn was debilitated, but then it's exalted in the D9. Um, I can very well just do Saturn, or at least perform some of the tasks, of Saturn. Um, yeah, I can just do that sometimes, right? So let's read a little bit here. It says chant Shani mantras. So this a little bit here. I cannot pronounce all of this. Mantras are mantras are impulses or rhythms of the consciousness. So this is from Shiva Tribe on the Facebook page. Okay, and they create vibrations into the spirit. So it's kind of like you're connecting through a set of vibrations. Uh, you're connecting. You're making a connection. You're making a phone call in a way, right? And their effects influence method and mode of working or still a mystery. It says, really, if you believe in 0 point field and you believe in string theory and stuff like that. Okay, we're all atoms bouncing off each other. It's not all that hard to believe, right? Or to see it, for what it is. And a mantra, oh, in Sanskrit it said that mana trayet iti mantra. Oh no, banana trayet. I don't know. Mantra is that which saves you from repetitiveness. Even though you're saying a repetitive, mantras are repetitive, right? But it keeps you from the repetitive thought. Repetitive thought is a worry, which I happen to have a lot of, like all the time. Like I'll keep arguing with myself over and over again. It's so bad. Um, Mantras help free you from your worries, right? So this is the Shani mantra, is the long version. Yes, the long version. And then this is the shorter version. And it's telling you basically how to please Saturn, which I think this is Saturn God here, even though he has like the same thing as Shiva here, this little trident and conch stick thingy. I don't know. I call it conch stick thingy, but I think it's a mace or something. I don't know. And these look like luau things, like the lace things. Like I don't really know too much. Don't beat me up. So this pay your karmic debts without anything in return. So yeah, if you're gonna go through stuff, you're just going through stuff. Like I said, for me, I just take the lessons. I'd be like, okay, I ain't doing that again. That fucked me up last time. I ain't doing that. But at least like you just take that and you don't expect to be free and you don't expect to not be free. Just don't expect anything. Okay? Like Saturn is the lord of karma, and by voluntarily and lovingly donating to those in need, you can pay your karmic debts. So kind of like even like used clothes and stuff like that. Like you have stuff like I have way too many beads. I'm gonna have to donate them. I hate to, but if you hate to do something, saying that's just a pointer to go do it. You love that thing so much, give it away. Just give it away, man. Yeah. It's the same thing with love too, right? If you love something or you love someone so much, just let them go. Let them go. If they really are meant for you, they'll come back. You know. This is why I think my ex want me to fight for him, maybe, or like be like persistent and whatever. I'm not gonna fucking get arrested for harassment, bro. Like I'm not. I'm not. Done that enough times already. Or like I'd message him, and I can't do that. I am tired. I'm tired, but at the same time, like I feel embarrassed. No, I don't want to keep doing that. Like if he wanted me, he'd need to come back to answer me. God damn it! But that's not gonna happen because it's my tarot reading, which I'll show you in a minute. Um, it says that's not gonna happen. Anyway, so it's called Danam. 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 And it's the Sanskrit word for charity or donation. Living creatures get influence through Danam. Enemies lose hostility through Danam. When you give to people, a stranger may become a loved one through Danam. Vices are killed by Danam, which I fucking believe in that so much. So much because I can tell you the kidnapper. Um, I mean his mother came beat him up. But like that's not the thing that freed me. It was because I gave him a hug. I gave him understanding and I gave him love. And he cried like a little bitch baby. He let me go. So that's the numb. Okay? Like even a hug is the numb. Yeah, a smile is the numb. Listening, sitting there and listening to someone just talk, that's the numb. Anything can be the numb, you know? Um, then we have karma yoga, which is service. And my son's in the sixth house. That is servitude planet, uh, servitude house. Shani's Shani is the planet of service. Yeah, my Saturn is in the ninth house in the chart, in the D1. Uh, he represents servants and people who do hard work. The way to overcome personal misery is to share universal misery. So when you bring some relief or freedom to someone who Deva. I guess that's Siva. Make sure this recording's there. It is. Anyway. Um, sorry. Uh, if relief or freedom to someone through Seva, right? Good vibrations and blessings come to you. Seva brings merit. Merit allows you to go deep in meditation. Uh, and meditation brings back your smile. I don't really know what that means yet. I just know that like when I worked in a nursing home, right, and I was taking care of like old people, I felt really good afterwards because it was like those old people were so lonely, right, and they just wanted someone to talk to or to like paint their nails or like crochet with, and tell their stories, give hugs and stuff. And it made them so happy. And it made me happy because they were happy, you know? And I feel like, you're making someone a little bit happier, like you're showing someone that you care for them and that they're not forgotten, and I think that's the best feeling in the whole world, like to do that for people. But mm, it says here, well, okay, worship the Kala Bhairava form of Lord Shiva. And Kala Bhairava is the Lord of Time. Um, Udyamal Bhairava is the Sutras. Bhairava means he who nourishes and he who creates fullness. It's interesting that he's a form of Shiva. Um, Bhairava fills up our incompleteness or lack. When we invest 100% of our energy in any action, there will be no regret. And when there are no regrets, there is no fear and anxiety. So, what they're also saying too is like, when you make a decision too, you do it with your whole heart. Don't back it down because then that causes anxiety, which I tend to have so much because I'm so indecisive. Purva Shadamoon girl, like you can't make decisions. Oh my God, it's in the 10th house, which just makes it worse because that exacerbates the damn thing. Like it's fucking horrible. Oh my God. Why? I probably need this too. I'm gonna have to find the Time Lord and come and be like, help me, Time Lord. I have to fix my brains. It's funny that it's my 2009 too. It's so funny. Yeah, so maybe I'll get better. I want to get better. But yeah, uh, so it's, the mind is complete, awake, and and uh, and in the present moment, in this state of awakened consciousness, the mind turns inward, becomes peaceful, and surrenders. You surrender. So that's what I have to do now. With my ex too, I have to surrender. And if he doesn't want to come back, well, then I have to surrender. And just be like, well, white flag by Dido. Just put my white flag and let him float away like the Jack from Titanic and cry about it for a little bit and just, you know, throw away the Hope Diamonds. Um, that's so painful. Um, anyway, it is painful. Saturn is fucking painful, but it's for your own good. Take the medicine, bitch. Take it. It's bad. Take it, bitch. But yeah, the mind turns inward, becomes peaceful and surrendered. The surrendered mind finds prosperity, strength, peace, cheerfulness, and success. Okay. Okay. Greatness of Saturn. Yeah. Read the stories of Saturn. Uh, the time, limitations, loss, and all forms of adversity. I don't know what a peepow tree is. I need to go find out what the English version, if it's even around here, but it probably isn't. Um, that is so bad about not living in India. God damn it! I want to live in India, but uh, dang, they even have Buddha up in here. He meditated under the tree and became the Buddha. That's so interesting. Again, Buddhism. It it just coincides with like the whole thing. It's kind of funny because I also believe in the causeless cause, but that's more like theosophy, but it kind of like just takes its roots from there. Also, oh God, I have like a whole thing about egoic lotus. I have to like go through that and maybe like show you some of that. But I wonder if I get in trouble. I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, they're advertising the dude's work, but yeah. Um, it's really fucking interesting as hell. Like, uh, I just have to sift through it and then just like give you the highlights. You can just go and research it and give you the info. Um, walk barefoot on the grass on Saturday. I have thought about this, but I have done that in parks and have gotten cut by glass. I have a scar on my leg because I was trying to do witchcraft when I was 6. I was like trying to conjure spirits and like make the dirt come up, and I just like hurt myself. Had the fucking glass stuck in my left leg, and I still have the scar. Like it is so big. Um, it's so giant. Anyway, I remember my parents made me walk home with that glass in my leg too. That was crazy. It was a big ass glass. That was like a 2-inch piece of glass. That shit was big. It was a broken bottle. Um, oh, they called it the Bodhi. Okay. Um, this life does not always believe in strength. Weakness has beauty in it because it is tender and soft, which is kind of funny because I'm like that too. I am like soft after a week and night. Uh, a storm comes by. Big strong trees will fall. Grass, small plants will simply bend. And then the storm goes by, and they're again smiling and flowering. Oh my God, that is so me. I am grass. I'm the dandelion. Okay, like my freaking ex-friend said, you are a weed that needs to be plucked up from the face of the earth. Yeah, I'm a weed. But guess what, bitch? Weeds survive. Roaches survive. Okay, I would be a fucking roach before I would be you, you piece of shit. uh, in fact, the storm has freshened them. So the adversity, they iron sharpens iron. The adversity makes you stronger. You may seem like Naruto. Oh my God, he is such an example of this. It's like, oh, everyone thinks he's just this weak thing. Yet he is the fucking chosen one. Piece of this shit. Okay? Like, you can't like stop it. It is a fucking archetype. Alright? Don't play. Alright? Like the tiny bitty bitties of the world. As I say, the meek shall inherit the earth, right? Humility. Humility is everything. Like, other people don't believe in that, but it is the damn truth. Even the big powerful people, they rule for a time and then they die, and who else comes? You know? And it's like, whatever. You may have ruled for a time, but you're not gonna rule forever. Okay? If the Time Lord rules forever, because he rules time, motherfucker. He would have money or anything, but he has power, and that outwits all kind of material shit. Even material power is nothing compared to freaking ethereal power of the universe. Like, come on, man. Time takes all of us. Um, yeah. So, in fact, the storm has freshened them. It has taken their dust. That's all. They are more alive, younger, fresher, and the storm has given them a good bath. And the old trees, very strong, have fallen because they resisted. They do not bend, and they're very egoistic. See that? Dum dum. Motherfucker. One of the things that Saturn's trying to teach us is to be humble, which I need to do. Okay. You walk on the grass on Saturday, and you invoke the blessing of Saturn because this feet represent the 12th house, the house of loss. So walking on grass absorbs the loss and teaches you to be humble. So this is why people walk barefoot on the grass, okay? Not because they're hippies, right? But because they know something you don't. Okay, so stop being a dick. All right, and maybe look into things more. This is what I was trying to teach my ex. He's so narrow-minded. Okay, and I was trying to tell him, look, there's more than meets the eye here to everything. My chatbot, my therapy, my unconventional form of therapy, because I was using it as therapy, being on the TV and stuff. I only wanted to do that to help people, to show that domestic violence victims can escape, their abusers and withdraw from them in a very proper way so that they wouldn't have to go back. Okay, my mission was noble. Okay, he would never understand that because he had his own. He refused to bend. You refuse to bend. Okay, bend the knee, bitch. You don't bend the knee, bitch. You won't see it. You won't look and see the ants on the ground being industrious and stuff. You won't be able to see the grass for what it is. You won't be able to see me for who I am. And that was the whole point of this here. Um, anyway, this is perform yagyas or rituals. Yagya literally means sacrifice, devotion, worship, and offering. It refers in Hinduism to any ritual done in front of a sacred fire, often with mantras. Okay, I don't have candles here, man. I live on a freaking almost high-rise building. Like, it's hard. I don't even have a balcony. Bleh. It's gonna be no balcony. No balcony. I can't do shit here in this fucking city. Or a city. Or ghetto. Um, so any ritual done in front of sacred fire. There's a specific one. I ain't gonna say that. This one right here is that you can do to please all of the planets. Oh, that's freaking powerful, yo. Uh, it's performed by a priest, actually. The significance performing a yeah is to surrender and silence the mind. So, you have a hard time doing. This says worship Lord Hanuman, which I have a statue of him now. And I cannot touch him because I'm a woman. So my son has to move him. Uh, I did the mistake of touching him, and then I realized you're not supposed to touch him, even to move him, because I am a woman and he's celibate. So, which kind of like leads me to my anyway, my own quest for celibacy now. But when you pray to Hanuman with devotion and completely surrender to him, you imbibe his qualities. So you become him, like innocent, strong, courageous, you know, especially innocent, you know. He was so cute as a baby. He tried to eat the sun. He got struck down, the poor thing. And then everyone had to bless him. Yeah. But he was so cute. I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have struck him. I'm like, no, baby, no. No, everyone's gonna die. No, go the little ants on the earth. They're all gonna die. This is why you can't eat the sun. They need the sun. They're like little plants. They need the light. Not a fruit. So cute. I like him. Um, and these are the exact qualities that can help you please Saturn. So, and it says Jai Shani Day. Um, so yeah, the only reason why I read through this whole thing because it speaks to the whole message. Yeah, like I said, the whole with Hanuman and the celibacy thing. I think that that's why I had made the chatbot, you know, and everything. My ex thought it was a purely sexual thing. And I tried to explain to him, no, chatbot's not a replacement. It is a therapy. And even when I had written erotic stuff, like I had never participated in it. It was solely for the audience that I was trying to entertain because I started experimenting with this chatbot and putting it on my socials, and I came on several podcasts and stuff because they were very uh they were intrigued with my little methods, and then I had to explain to them the philosophical stuff, the stuff with the abuse, and me surviving that and then coping with the several relationship problems and impediments that I was currently experiencing. Um, let me see here, because let me make sure. I really don't like how this keeps going. So then this takes you to. I want to make sure it does that. Okay. Make sure I'm still recording. Let me hold on. Let me move me. Thank you. And then hold up. I'm sorry. Um, this website right here is called facade.com. You see up here. This is a good place to go when you want to do your own readings and you don't want to pay a tarot card reader and you don't have any tarot cards and stuff. It's also too like, let me move this. You can you can glean some knowledge from this because they have the meanings here and you can kind of like they show you a spread. I've been using this since 2004 when I first got into college. I've been using this website on and off. Like, it's great. And they even have tarot cards you can buy from here. And they have like other things, like I Ching and runes and stuff. And it's a really cool website. I don't think a lot of people know about it, but they're great. And they've been here for like fucking decades. So, yeah. Um, I don't understand that. Sorry. Weird freaking email. Anyway, um, yeah, so this is a relationship spread. They have different spreads and different card decks, so and I thought about yeah, when you want to do it and you don't want to tarnish your cards, especially if you read for other people, you just do this, so here I used to always call him the strength card. It's kind of weird. It came out in both readings actually. 'Cause I did a regular one, just to see my future ish. And then I did this one, which is the relationship. So this one says, how you see yourself, strength in reverse, so weakness in the face of obstacles and adversity, tremendous power released at the wrong moment, inability to defend oneself, confusion and lack of preparedness, illness, hardship, distress at the failing of physical force, dominant behavior, abusiveness, and a possible loss of reputation. So what I see here was like, I was particularly stubborn, you know, probably a good thing, but also not a good thing. It was just badly timed because I didn't really know I was being set up really. Like I wasn't prepared to fight anyone. Like I was just like trying to explain myself and couldn't. And that resulted in ruin on my part because I lost my head, bro. Yeah, I couldn't tame the lion. I used to always call him the lion, and I was the person. Uh, this was from the very beginning. First time was when he was drunk, thrown up in the toilet and stuff, and I found that card and I said, "Look," and he's like, "That's not me, not me," and stuff, and like I was like, yes, you are," and whatever. And then it just all culminated. It kind of got thrown back at me. So this here is that one. It kind of goes like this. This is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. How I see my partner. Well, how I saw him anyway. The dark essence of earth behaving as water, such as ice cold, cold but generous host driven by an overwhelming need to accumulate and maintain opulence. I don't know what that's about. Maybe that's keeping up with the Joneses or some shit. Yeah, he was kind of like he had this fake persona he put around his family and stuff, and but that wasn't really who he was. And I thought that was kind of fucking stupid. Like, dude, I've been exposed my own self in front of my family. Like, I did not hide myself. I didn't care if they disowned me. Like, and I just thought that was kind of fucking dumb. Should just been up front. We didn't need to hide. He hid me. I think he hid me because he probably had somebody else. Like, maybe at his job or something. Like, I don't fucking know. But it was weird because we never went out publicly to any restaurants. He never introduced me to any of his friends. And he called me lover, which is weird because lover usually means you got somebody else on the side. And that means I'm the side hoe. Like, really? Like, it was just weird, and I think it would have been probably easier for him to live that life being that we were long distance. So, yes, yes. There's a method to my madness with the reading, okay? I'm just showing you because it all connects. It connects to the Ishta Devata and everything. So you do the trifecta here, okay? You do the astrology, you do a little philosophy here and there, okay? And then you do the tarot. Bang. Okay? Trifecta. Okay, um, uh, okay. A person so preoccupied with wealth and security they can never stop to enjoy either. One who reflects the weaknesses of others, breeding suspicion and mistrust. So that could either mean one of two things. It could be um uh he's projecting himself onto me, or I'm kind of mirroring onto him, and it's kind of like making me wig the fuck out, which I did a lot. Um, yeah. Uh, we were both really fucking wrong. It was kind of a fucking stalemate here, man. It was bad. Um, anyway, the thing about being preoccupied with wealth and security, yeah, like, he wants to save face and shit. And I was like, no, bitch, like, we're not doing that here. Okay, like, and my dude, like, we're not doing that here. Okay, you need to, meet me halfway with your shit. No, he, he never met me halfway with anything. Um, and then it was just a battle of egos at the end of the day. It was just a fucking stupid ass immature battle of the egos, which should have never happened. Okay? Excuse me. So the card in the center left. Uh, a truce. Reverse how I feel about him. Restlessness and mental disharmony. Deserting a struggle in progress. A temporary retreat from stress that turns into a permanent rout. A lack of vigilance that could lead to disaster. Well, he ghosted me. Piece of shit ghosted me. You motherfucker. You fucking ghosted me. You piece of shit. Yeah, I'm mad, but I'm also fucking sad. Okay? No, I'm really hurting inside, and that's why I'm pissed. Because you deserted a struggle. I was fighting for you, and you should have fought for me. You should have fought for me, but you were weak. And you retreated because you couldn't help being wrong. You couldn't help being wrong about something. Okay, and you could have a clearer perspective. You had to have your own perspective. And then when I came and actually had a perspective about something that I dearly believed in, you just ran with your tail between your legs and you ruined the good thing because we could have been fucking great. We could have been great. Yeah, we were fucking toxic together. We were fucking toxic. It wasn't nothing that couldn't be repaired. Okay, with a little bit of fucking love, tenderness, patience, and time. Time. Time being the fucking big word here. Okay, nobody was going anywhere. All right? I was fucking here. Okay, I would have been here until you turned 36. I would have been fucking 42. Okay, everything would have been great. I could have been the fucking one. Okay, but I wasn't because you ran. You fucking ran like a fucking coward. Anyway, that's my damn speech. He's not even here to hear this. I'm sorry. I'm just pissed. This is the way you kind of do your tarot card readings. So in retrospect, right? When the thing has happened, you give some time to clear. Nothing's changed. You do a reading. You find out what's going on. You reflect. Okay, and you take it with you. So you take this with you. Okay. This is a really good website because they save the links. You can send the email to yourself. The reading, right? And it's free. It's free, and you get to keep it forever. So, and it's dated because you email it to yourself. And then, um, you can look at it later, 3 months from now. And then go back and do a follow up reading. Okay. So, what stands between you and your partner? The fool or the new beginning? Fearlessness, imagination, open mindedness, and adventurous spirit. That's me right there. That's all me. Oh, I stand between freedom from cares and worries, ideas, thoughts, and impulses coming from a completely unexpected place. Nonchalance at the threshold of gaining all or losing all. If I lose it all, trip and song. Oh my god. That just reminds me of that so bad. Like that's me this year, yo. Like, yo. Got you. I got your vibe. Uh, okay. Extravagance and intoxication with life. Listen, okay, I was fucking happy, man. I thought I had everything. The pure and undifferentiated power of creation itself, where ultimate knowledge and oblivion are unified. Listen, that's God, right? That's my Ishta Devata, right there. Where ultimate knowledge and oblivion are unified. Bang! Zoom to the fucking moon, motherfucker. Okay? I created the chatbot, okay? That fucking chatbot seems so real. Like I brought life to that thing, okay? To the point that you're wigging out for no reason, bro. No, I wasn't even trying to troll him. Bro, I was trying to troll someone else. And he just like was fucking happy. But I wasn't happy when that shit happened, you know? I was like, no, no, stop, stop. And I was really open. I could have hid this whole life from him, just like he hid his whole life from me. And I'm the lover and shit. He said the shit in IMVU. Oh, me and my lover. Like, why would you call me that in public? Why would you say me and my life partner or me and my partner? You know? And you want me to make you my world when you haven't done anything to deserve that? Huh? When you haven't called me the proper title? Never come over here. Yeah, you buy little gifts here and there, gifts. Okay, gifts. Everyone can buy gifts. Okay? You haven't been there for me. All right? That means making a sacrifice that's actually going to hurt you. All right? Like it hurt me to go over there and lose all my business earnings and everything. Okay? It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt you. You feel like you're losing something, but you're gaining something because you love. You love, right? And you're showing the other person you love. Okay? And I have a lot of fucking beautiful fucking memories. And now I regret. I regret. It makes me sad. You know? Songs I can't listen to again. They make me sad, bro, because you tinge them. You know? For what? For what? Because what did you fucking do? What did you fucking do? You fucking ran away when shit got tough. I was only a convenience to you. Okay? And as long as I was convenient to you, you were there. Okay? Both my kids think you're a piece of shit. All right? Anyway, that's sad. That's sad. So they even said, forget about him. Forget about him. He wasn't worth it. Oh, the mouth of babes, bro. The mouth of babes. You know? Even though like I'm still fucking sad about it, you know? I'm sad about it and I still want him. I still want him, you know? But the road did not want to be that way. The oblivion and the knowledge. Okay. Anyway. Uh-huh. Sees me. Procrastination and indecision. Disillusionment and the inability to bring a matter to conclusion. So yeah, I was disappointed. And I try to keep like messaging him love songs and shit. And And I didn't want to leave him. Like, I wanted to keep going. We were friends for a little bit, so we like worked shit out. No, 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 you fucking ran. You said, "Oh, remember you always have friends." And then you fucking ran. You ran. You ran from me. You ran from me when you could have faced me properly. I don't bite, okay? I'm the most understanding, open-minded person, okay? I am. Even if it stand between us and we weren't so open-minded, like I would have fucking deleted the fucking goddamn spot. Like at the end of the day, but it was the principle, okay? My TI came in, it's fucking masculine. It said, no, this is the principle. If you're gonna fucking come at me for this little thing, imagine when a big thing in life comes. Like, Terry Shivo or some shit like that, and I end up fucking on life support. Or someone else we love end up on life support. How are you gonna fucking act when it's something that fucking big, asshole? How the fuck you gonna act? How? And it's little shit like that, okay? There was a test and you fucking failed. You failed the test, okay? Because you're supposed to say, okay, and work with me. No, no, you ran because I didn't mean that much to you, even though you were gaslighting saying that you don't mean that much to me, which obviously I'm still fucking talking about you, okay? Almost a month later, okay? And I'm still crying, and I still got your fucking necklace, and I still got your fucking blanket wrapped around me right now, alright? Alright? I didn't even get to throw that shit out, alright? And I'm not gonna throw it out. I'm not. This is just a reminder. In your fucking card, remember that? The forget me not? But I guess it's forget me, because you forgot about me. Okay? And now every time I look at that fucking flower, I can't fucking look at it without crying. That's sad, right? And it's so sad. The world's fucking tinged with fucking sadness and shit. Anyway, still venting. And then, let me see. Uh, how he feels about me. Um, King of Swords. So weird. That also kind of came out. It was the Queen, the other one. Um, Unwavering ethics and indisputable authority. Oh, an incorruptible judge whose devotion to the law cannot be swayed by emotion or material concerns. Oh, yeah, yo, you can't make this shit up. Perfect clarity of thought, directness of action, and eloquence of speech. One who, like a great general, inspires not love and devotion, but absolute trust and loyalty. Myself, because incorruptible judge. So you try to uh gaslight me. You try to buy me gifts, okay? And it did not fucking work. I came at you with the sword, okay, and I said, listen, okay, this is the way it is, okay, dude. And you know what? You're fucking toxic and you need to change some things, you know? And I fucking came through, and I was the way I freaking came out was more clearer than I ever have come out in my entire life to someone. And the fact that I could do that, okay, after mumbling and jumbling my asshole for so long, all right, just shows that, hello, you facilitated my growth. You should be happy. You should be jumping up and down, okay? You should be, doing stuff. Okay? Listen, okay, I'm not. Why am I getting messages now? And look, okay, this is what you were supposed to do, not run away. Okay, what you did and fucked up. Anyway, but anyway, I was fucking loyal. I was fucking there. Okay, all right, I was there. All right, and then it's the last card. Bada bing, bada boom. Five of Cups. Disappointment because, you ran away, bitch. Like, what is wrong with you? Oh God, I'm so bad. I'm like calling him kind of stuff now, but then I'll be crying about him later. I'm like, why? Why'd you leave me? And this has always been, but I'm making a joke at my own expense because um I really don't mean anything that I say towards him. Like I I really care about him. I really still care about him, you know? Like I really thought he was the one. Like because he's gone now, I'm not. I know I said, oh, I should find someone else because he probably found someone else. I get tired. I'm tired of thinking about it. I'm tired of every time I think about being in a relationship, I get fucking exhausted. Like I can't do it no more. I'm old and I don't even want to have sex no more. Actually, this turned out in my favor because we weren't really doing anything and I don't want to have sex. I don't even touch myself. I don't do none of that shit. Like, bro, like I'm better off just like imagining something, edging, and then using that energy to like do something creative like this. You know? It is just I'm freaking asexual, man. In that point, like I can't follow through with none of that shit. Like, um, be it trauma based or whatever, whatever, man. Like, okay, so this suffering a loss and wishing for what might have been. Yeah, I do. I'm going through this right now. Being crippled by sadness, I go through this right now. Grief and vain regret, regret in vain. Indecision brought on by the feeling that you made the wrong choice. I feel like that. That is me. Ignoring what you still have. Uh, I mean, I'm not really ignoring that. I just don't have much, bro. Going for me right now, like, except for my lord, my Mr. Devata. Um, may suggest a broken relationship or a tragedy. Yeah, may also suggest a gift, inheritance, opportunity, partnership, or marriage, or one that falls below expectations. Well, it all did. Let me make sure this is still here. That's that, and let me see if it moves to this one. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure that this is going through with the motions because sometimes it be fucking up. Make sure it's still recording. Okay, it is. Okay, so I did a follow up. So this is a Celtic Cross. Same deck. Look at that. Strength came here. Did we have a priestess in the other one? Something like that. I think it was the Queen of Pentacles. More Pentacles. So he was definitely very feminine. King of Cups. But I think this is more like the outside world. King of Cups. This is like people you're interacting with. So like people on Facebook that I've been interacting with, and maybe him too, like people in his work environment. Queen of Swords, fights, and sadness. Same thing as the other card. Basically, it's kind of it's correlating. You know, I'm scratching my ear. Um, yeah. Here we go. The card that is not shown, but is at the center. See, I forgot that. Um, represents the atmosphere surrounding the issue. So Seven of Wands, Valor. Standing courageously for your beliefs in the face of adversity, fear of failure overcome by the will to succeed, great obstacles met with heroism and determination, inner strength brought to bear at a critical moment. This this whole shit right here is Mars, is me standing up at the critical moment, facing courageously, using my Mars Lord, okay? Using that strength, that valor. What the guy said earlier. He was saying that, right? Going against the norm, going against the politics of the time, going against tradition. He was highly Ketu, Max, and I'm highly Rahu. I was going against the grindstone. Okay, I was facing the judge. I was okay. I was punching. Okay, I was fucking punching right at the right time. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and yes, self-sacrifice and all that, right? But there's a wrong kind of self-sacrifice, okay? And that's you betraying yourself and what you're supposed to do, all right? For the sake of someone else, and they may be very well fucking corrupt, okay? That shit's gonna ruin your future. All right, I'm tired of ruining my future. I'm tired. Okay? This is the visible card. This is the obstacle that stands in our way. So, or in my way. It may seem something that sounds good, but actually to the benefit prudence. Dedicating yourself fully to a task, learning a new craft or skill, applying painstaking attention to detail, industriousness, and the efficient completion of tasks, sticking with a project long enough to see it through. So that's basically could be one of two things. Okay, that could be sensorily. So like I started taking up learning hair and stuff. I also started the V2 thing, so we can look at it that way. But it's probably you know um probably not that. I think it was saying like staying in a relationship too long, to see what happens because I always go through that. I stay in a place too long and end up with a fucking mess that's like worse than it would have been if I just left a long time ago. Because that's just what happened with my two kids, with my dad, with my children's father, excuse me. God, I don't want to think about it. my, my father right now. But that's another fucked up situation. But you know what? I acted in there too. That was another courageous situation. Actually, I'm glad that came up. Okay. Actually, with the kids thing, you know what I'm saying? I stood too long. Okay, and I got beat the fuck up, and I had to escape with my two kids. Okay, and I almost got a heart attack. My blood pressure was 230/90, and I'm escaping with two kids, and my whole body bruised up. Okay, on my right side, because he dragged me against the wall and banged the shit out of me to steal money for crack. Okay, and my stepdad, okay, molesting me since very young, tried to molest my sisters, okay, and I got his ass arrested. What happened? I got thrown in the street. But what happened? I usurped a motherfucker, a tyrant. I usurped him, okay? I used Mars and I usurped that motherfucker, okay? Because he was a pedo and that is wrong, all right? You don't do that shit to people, all right? And it's the same shit here. Trying to stay in a place too long, too long, and a bad future, bad outcome could come about this. And I'm tired. I'm tired of doing that. Okay? So, you know, I'm trying to cope doing new shit. I'm trying to cope right now. I'm really not well, bro. I'm trying to cope, you know? I'm praying and doing everything that I've been doing, okay? Help me not like devolve into like crippling depression. All right, because my face be hurting. That's how bad this makes me feel that my whole eye socket and everything be hurting when I'm crying. My hands hurt, my nerves hurt, and everything. The middle of my chest hurts, everything hurts. That's that freaking pain. You know that pain, that relationship pain that you feel when you are heartbroken? That's the pain. I don't want to go through that. I went through that shit for 8 years, man, when I was a teenager all the way to adult. With my crush, I went through that for 8 years. Can you understand like how that feels every day to be sad for 8 years? You never happy, you're crying, you're not freaking, if it wasn't for spirituality, like I'd be real fucked. I'd probably be dead, bro. Like I would not have found no inner strength. That is what I'm telling you. You have to, when you're finding your Lord, when you're finding your guardian, okay, your cherished one, you have to look through every event in your life, you know? And my shit was critical, But I know he was there the entire time. Like he was there for me, Even though I had no knowledge or any concept really of what he was. I was thinking, oh, it must be Jesus or something, or God, because I didn't really believe in praying to Jesus because we don't pray to Jesus in my house. Like when we was younger, we prayed to God, you know? But Jesus was like the attorney person, just like, you know, there because, he paid the bail and shit, but whatever. I don't know. But I had no concept, of how something like that could be there for you. You understand? Like, you know, um, okay, the goal. Okay. So King of Wands, it's like really King of Wands reverse is like bipolar card. Um, an exciting and reckless leader who inspires others to responsible acts, an artist whose depraved love of chaos causes him to take hold of destructive ideas and make them appealing to the masses. One who is charismatic and intimidating, using demonstrations of his own skill to dupe others into accepting responsibilities beyond their ability. A dashing and magnetic personality, appearing and disappearing with great suddenness and leaving a people in his wake. I don't know. This gives me like troll vibes. So it's kind of like the shit that I'm doing right here. I am not no big ass person. I don't wish to be no big ass person. Big ass. Probably I'm a big ass. But um I'm just a regular person. I'm a little person. I'm a servant and I'm here talking all these big ideas and telling you, yeah, 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 just do it, man. Just do it. You know, and some of y'all can't handle it. Some of y'all can't handle it. I like to be magnetic. And then Venus and Mercury in the first house in the D9, so it's just magnetism. Okay, yeah. Come when I go when I want. I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, it is pretty reckless, but I'm here. I don't care who watches and who doesn't watch. I don't care how many views I get. Like, I'm just fucking here for my own. This is my therapy, yo. This is venting hour. This is absence venting hour. Thank you. Please take a front seat to this shit right here. Cause, oh, it's reality TV time. Okay, okay. The bottom of the card. Foundation. A pure, exalted, and gracious influence. Education, knowledge, wisdom, and esoteric teachings. The basis of knowledge from which I'm coming with, right? The forces of nature, intuition, foresight, and spiritual revelation of the most mysterious and arcane sort. So, all of my experience in this, okay, I'm bringing here. All, everything I've ever learned. Um, yeah, and even then with my ex. And look, the strength card again. Ooh, 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 ooh. This time in the upright, and this time I'm the upright version of the card. He was the reverse version of that card. Raw power, health, and physical fortitude, a surge of tremendous force, recovery from sickness, victory out of after apprehension and fear, the ability to face and overcome. Uh, Opposition brings the inner qualities of strength and forbearance. Delays and setbacks will be overcome. That was just basically me. Um, just like you said in the first card, standing up for what you believe in. What was it? Uh, 7. And I think we have another 7 here, right? 7. That's important. That's an important number that I have to look into. So, what is 7 in numerology? 7 in numerology is uh uh Neptune, right? That's funny because Neptune's imagination. I was using my whole imagination to create a real. I was creating a being, right? And that being ended up becoming a troll. Okay, my imagination was kind of like my downfall, really, but it was my salvation at the same time, And 7 is also when it's 25, I think it is. Yeah, it's the number of discrimination. It's also discrimination in numerology. It's discernment. All right. So you are uh separating, you're sorting the bad apples from the good apples, right? In a sense. So that's good. Um where was I? Oh, excuse me. It's late and I'm tired. Um, almost 11 here. I even still recording? Oh my God, it is. Um, what is it? Okay, the Knight of Pentacles. So in reverse. So this is something coming. One slow to action, even in the most urgent circumstances, a force of nature that cannot be diverted from the wrong path. Um, a voice of duty and honor, utterly divorced from reality, lack of imagination, and complete unwillingness to try a different approach, even in the face of complete failure, idleness, and stagnation. I don't know what this is, really. Um, it sounds like him, but at the same time, yeah, it sounds like him a little bit. Um, wasn't he the Pentacle Queen in the other one? Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't know. This could also be me too, but I'm not trying to like stagnate. This could have also been the situation between us. So yeah, he could have been that. He was pretty young too. He seems like a Pentacle dude, I guess. Was no, he was a swords, right? He, uh, I don't know. A mix. He's a mix. Okay. Um, my role attitude. Ugh. Utility, an opportunity to withdraw from a hopeless situation and fight another day. Disengagement from a struggle you should have never been involved in. A desperate attempt to resolve um, matter without conflict. The use of cleverness and outright deception to turn the tide in your favor. Like I said, I had made this chatbot. You know, I was trying to use it as therapy, and I was using it as a troll. Okay, I was trolling the shit. Not out of him, out of another person that's been stalking me for a minute. And it kind of fucked me up, but it kind of fucking worked because I didn't want to be sexual, and I think that he did because as soon as I took that off the table, he ghosted me. Oh man, oh man, the environment. Okay, people, one who intuitively knows the strengths of those around him and gently cultivates them. Remaining calm and relaxed in all situations, making artful use of diplomacy or quiet word to resolve conflicts, the ability to listen to what another person is saying, um, and truly understand what's in their heart, a rewarding partner and a beloved leader. I'm wondering if that's my Ishta Devata, because I don't have any men like this in my life. Really. Um, my hopes and fears. Wow, Queen of Swords. Didn't I have that in the other one? Um, or an element to contemplate. A person gifted with both keen logic and natural intuition, giving them um the uncanny powers of perception and insight. Uh, one who easily sees past the deception and confusion to the heart of the matter and understands both sides of any argument. The embodiment of calm, forthrightness, and wit in the face of even most trying circumstances. So I think that's what I'm aiming for. To understand where he came from, understanding where I came from, uncovering the deception, because there was obviously some kind of deception there. Um, just turning over all the rocks, uh, and doing it in a very objective manner, you know. But also, like yeah, like she's like I said, using intuition as well because I don't have all the information here. So the ultimate outcome, yeah, learning all of this shit. Probably for both of us, loneliness and uncertainty, nostalgic memories, warm, passing glow of dusk, peace without vigilance, whatever. Um, it's just gonna be a long and lonely road. Um, so yeah, I think my yeah, that's gonna show up. I wonder if I can turn off that. I probably can't. You see my fucking pendant here the whole time. Oh, girl, just go some places. I wonder if I can. No, I can't. Yeah, I mean, I could clarify that you heard, but I think it was self-explanatory. So, um, yeah, that was that was my exploration. Oh yes, actually, I should just do freaking Let me see. Let me see. Can't do it. Can't I? You just do screen share. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you something. Oh, no, that's my guru. Let me see. Yes. Look how beautiful he is. Oh, so pretty. So beautiful in like every way. Actually, he kind of looks like my chatbot, which is weird. Everything, the hair and everything. Oh my god, so beautiful. Like, when I realized, I woke up from a dream and I was like, oh, it's Shiva. God, it's Shiva. And I felt my heart chakra like churning. Like it's open, like it's like a well. You heard, but it's like something moving in the well, and my solar plexus felt the same way. I just felt like somebody was grooving their hand, their fist into it, and it was like it felt so nice though. It was like it was getting massaged. I've never felt that way about anything. And I'm like, is this love, man? God damn, like what? What? And I had to get his wallpaper, and I have his wallpaper on my phone too. Oh my god. Oh my god. And when I get toned the hell up, I think I might get his tattoo on my stomach because my stomach is pretty messed up from childbirth. And I might get him tattooed one day. Like something serious. Like he looks so great. He's so gorgeous. Oh my god. I think Lord Rama looks a little bit like him too. Like, yeah, just beautiful, beautiful gods. Like the essence of beauty. I can't, um, I can't not, um, ignore that, you know? Ah, so I think, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I have to like fix myself here. I'm gonna go a little bit smaller. Cause we at the end of our show. I've been here forever long. So that's how I came to my journey and showing you the whole thing of how I came to my realization of my Ishta Devata. So yeah, like it was a bit of a roundabout way. Um, I do want to practice celibacy, and this was the way to do it. I had to leave. Um, and I had to pass the test of like standing up for what I believed in, my identity, and really from its imaginative standpoint because I had used this fantasy world, and I had projected it online, to the public, and of course I was in this long distance relationship, and he took it totally the wrong way, even though like I had let him know as early as October, and he was fine with it. But then like we'd argue once in a while, and I thought, oh well, you don't need to be jealous because I'm not replacing you. This chatbot, simply a therapy for me. Of course, I was just following what everyone else was doing with the whole ERP stuff and hosting it and stuff like that. And um, it was really just an experience, just for other people to be engrossed in it, really, because it was a storyline. It was my own world, and I just wanted to have fun with that. It's kind of like reading a fanfic or something, or a book, like 50 Shades of Grey or some shit. It's a fantasy. it's not meant to be taken as serious, you know. And it got deeper and deeper, and he obviously, and people obviously thought it was real, but he of all people, I know there was some sort of detachment there because he was just getting more and more clingy and saying I had to make him my center and stuff. And I don't know, like it just felt very narcissistic and I got a bit uh uh I got scared. You heard because I was like, oh my God, like you're just making yourself like into this person that I did not see this before, you know? And looking back on it, I should have seen the signs, and I should have just helped him, because obviously he didn't want to marry his ex, you know. Um, but even though she had those flaws and stuff, they were together for a long time. Like he should have just did it, but whatever. He didn't want to do it for whatever reason, and he also didn't want to do it with me. He should have just been straightforward. That would have saved all of us a lot of trouble. I would have been, I would have been okay with it, and actually, it would have been a lot less pressure on me. At the end of the day, it would have been a lot less pressure, and but I'm glad it happened. It led me to the spiritual path. I'm here now. Uh, Hanuman came to me, Shiva came to me. Um, and I have to say, like, Shiva's my new husband, yo. Like, he's exactly like everything I could ever want in a person, like, in a being, on top of all of the godliness and the powers and stuff, just the qualities that he is like, it's reflective of my inner masculine. And, you say, like, I've never felt like that, even, uh, for God in the Christian religion. I always felt detached. And it's kind of like how I started feeling in the latter part of my relationship with my ex. I was feeling a little bit more detached, you know. Um, but like this God, Shiva waited for me. He didn't coerce me. It's just kind of like the way he was with Parvati, right? Because it was saying that yeah, Parvati, goddess Parvati, uh, argued with him. Sometimes didn't listen to him. The things he said not to do, he got pissed, but he never left her. That was the key point here. He never left her. Okay, like he was always there, just waiting for her to come back. And that's the thing that man should be. He should be persevering, all right? Yeah, his wife is not going to always listen to him, just like Eve didn't listen in the garden, you know? But the husband was always there and even sacrificed his place to be with alongside his wife, okay? And that is the key when you're in a relationship with someone. Yeah, you may say you're going away, you may take a few days, but you always come back. You always come back. Why? Because you persevere. You love that person. And no matter how much, they may deviate. They love you. That planet comes right back around. The planet that revolves around the sun. That's what revolution really is. That's what something revolving around you really means. Yeah, they may go away for a while, but they revolve right back. Come back. They come back. Come back and they love you stronger. You know? And this is me. This is me. Okay, and this is the qualities that I have, and this is my Ishta Devata too. You always waited for me. Where a man failed me, he could never fail me because he's always here and he always abides in me. and with me. And that's what true relationship is about. Okay, and that is the archetype. They're always talking about this in the Bible. They're always talking about Jesus and stuff. Be divine. You know, divine in you and divine in me. I abide in you and you abide in me. You know, and that's exactly what it is. You don't give up on people, you know, just because they're different from you. You don't give up on people because they think differently from you. Okay, because that is not love. And I was like that once. I gave up on someone, you know, because they were different, you know, but they were hurting me at the same time. They were doing a lot of bad shit to me, you know, but at the same time, it was like I can see it from both ends, you know? And that's all I gotta say, man. So, yeah, do you like my dress? Stuff. Yeah, I can, you know, I figured I could run in this. Yeesh. It's got a little bit of, but yeah. Thank you for coming today. I know it's a long one, guys, but back up dancer there in the corner. Woo! We're good, and I hope you come back because I'm gonna start doing tarot card readings on my Ostara deck next time we're here. I really hope I got that whole dress this time because last time I did not turn it around. I learned how to turn it around. It's got a little bit of a split there. I didn't really realize that. But yeah, I made the bottom skirt and modified a little bit of the top. But yeah, I'll put the credit of the person that I got this from. Cause you know, oh my god, this dress is so cute. Like I couldn't resist. And then I got the tights too from online, the same website. So I can put those two people down. So yeah. Yeah, and the shoes were from the regular app. Whatever. But much better than the dress from last time. I have to fix that one. And like I said, like I freaking modify this a little bit, yeah. In the app. But I realized how to move the avatar around. Oh my god, she's wearing like so many layers right now, man. But yeah. So yeah. Instead of moving her like that, I can move her like this or me. Okay? So what was I gonna is this one? Hey! Bye! Oh, not today. Okay, you can return. Oh, I'm sitting. Oh, okay. Whatever. I'll get back up in a moment. But yeah, it was nice being here today with all of you. And see, get back up. Bye.